They're somewhat fun to put together. I've got a couple of more that I've kind of been playing with in the background. We'll see how they go going forward, but I'll probably put a couple of them in there. All right, so this Valentine's Day, I want to paint these guys up here. I was having a discussion with my family about what I'm going to paint each Wednesday night, and my wife said she would basically divorce me if I didn't do something sweet and cute about Valentine's Day. Actually, she didn't say that. What she said, she was going to troll my stream. So I had to come up with something. I like the bright, vibrant colors of these birds, and so a couple of lovebirds with a little snuggle I thought would be something great to do. And so I will be totally honest. Nice, vibrant colors they are. I'll be totally honest with you. The whole background up here, or, way up in the corner up here that you see, I'm not worried about. The stick, I'm not worried about. The feet, I'm not worried about. The beak, I'm not worried about. What I'm kind of a little concerned about is this color that's going to come down here and getting a nice transition from up here right by the beak, a really bright pop of orange. As we come around the crown of the bird, right, it turns into a yellow and back into some orange and then into these lovely greens. Now, I have been playing around a little bit with some colors to see kind of what's going to work out. And, right, the orange that's right around their mouth, I think I can just use a straight Azo Orange. That's kind of the brightest, poppiest orange that I have, right? And some of the yellow, just as the color starts to curve down here is not really a cold yellow, but it's cold enough. I can probably use my Hansa Yellow for that. And then I've got this gradation of things. This, for the green, is actually Phthalo Green with some Hansa Yellow. Do I have Hansa Yellow or Azo Yellow? I don't know where my color card is at the moment. With some cold yellow put into it. And then this is straight Phthalo Green that I use. So I think for the greens, I've got that. I love this color green. I think this worked great on both birds. Their pin feathers, I think, will be good here. I've got to worry about this yellow transition. Anyways, we're going to get into it. A few other people have joined. Surike, Natalie, Liza, Donna, Susie's here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Woo. Okay. Big, deep breath. I think I'm going to tackle the smaller one here first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the whole bird. So let's do that. Everything except for the eye and the beak. And then we'll start layering on some colors. So I hope that everybody's having a wonderful, absolutely wonderful Valentine's Day today. And I do have an update on some weekend stuff that I have done. For some of you, your Valentine's Day is nearly over. So I should say, I hope you did something fun. There are a few of us whose Valentine's Day is continuing and will for several hours. All right, we've got this guy. I just want to get some water on this guy. And you can see, if I can get it in the light, there you go. You can see he's got a nice bit of water on him. I want to have enough water on this guy or this girl, whichever it is. I don't know that you can tell with lovebirds, but so that we can work our colors in here and we have a long enough time to allow those colors to work, and we don't have to worry too much about them drying out. Now, I told myself I was going to do green last, and look, I went into green almost first. The reason for that is I don't like to mix my green and my yellow. I seem to do that too much. But let's get some green on here, and let's let these colors start to mix a little bit. I can almost put this green right on where I want it to be because my table is slanted a little bit, and so the color is going to run down a little bit. It's not going to want to run against gravity. So we'll put a little bit of that color on there. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go back to my yellow. I should have done this to start with. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And continue my yellow all the way up here and around. Good, good, good. Get just some dampness out of my brush there and push this into all of these places. Good, looking good so far. So the update I have for you guys, nobody is going to talk about their Valentine's Day, and that's cool, is this was actually kind of funny. I got up Sunday morning here. I thought, wow, this is a bright, sunny Sunday morning. We haven't had a bright, sunny morning like this in a while. I'm going to get out and do a little watercolor painting. And I did. I gathered all my materials. And I put them in my satchel. I have a satchel that I put all of my supplies in. I put them all in my satchel. Got some water, got some towels. I got ready to go out and do some painting. I didn't get ready to. I actually went out and did some painting. But I got out to where I wanted to do my painting, only to discover that it was 38 degrees. So I went out there actually in the sweatshirt I have on right now in 38-degree weather and did some watercolor painting. So how about that? It was a little chilly, to say the least. I could have done with another layer of clothes. But that's okay. Here in my town, my little town by the ocean, we have a maritime museum. In days of yore, there was quite a bit of fishing that went on here, and there still is a bit, but not nearly as much as there used to. And so the Maritime Museum has a number of boats or ships from like a fishing fleet, and it's got some from the Merchant Marines and from the Coast Guard and whatnot in there. Liza says sunshine is so tricky, it makes it seem so much warmer than it is. I was just so excited that I had a nice sunny day. I was going to enjoy it one way or another. But I stayed and I did a painting there. And then I came home and had a large cup of coffee and headed back out again to do another painting later on in the day. And I'll not show you my first one that I did. Not because I'm afraid to, because I'm not sure where it's at the moment, but I will show you the second one I did. Let's see, what's the green did you say that was? This is Phthalo Green. I'm looking for my card. I don't see where it's at. So this is the green that we're talking about right here, mixed with a little bit of, this is a cold yellow that I've mixed it with. All the yellows that are pure yellows here are the cold yellow. I believe it's Hansa Yellow. And then the green that I'm using here is Phthalo Green. The actual green that I use is Phthalo Green Yellow shade. So it's already got just a bit of yellow in there. It just doesn't have quite the blueness to it that some of the phthalos have. That blueness kind of makes it look a little bit more viridian-ish-y than I like sometimes. And yes, we are to the point where I need to talk and ramble on a little bit because I need this to dry before I do anything. So I'm going to grab my painting that I did this weekend while I was sitting out amongst the crowd. And let me just move this a little bit off to the side. And whoop, here's what I painted. Now, if you have a keen eye, you'll notice there's something weird going on here and here. When I tossed this in the back of my car, my water bottle fell on top of it, and when I got home, I had these big splotches of water. There's one here, actually, and one there, and I was like, no. But I had a good time painting this, so I sat down by the water for about an hour and painted this. So this is the calmest you will ever see the Pacific Ocean right here. It's a flat lake. It's not nearly this calm. This is a popular spot right here for surfers. They'll actually come and they'll paddle out right along the rock here and get out to the corner and then surf back in and make a big loop. But the rest of it I thought turned out pretty well. Got some mosses and grasses in here, and I like the shape of the rock, how it came out. It's not exactly like the real thing, but I think it turned out pretty well. And this I did on, this is really rough paper. It doesn't seem super rough, but like this is 3 and 4 layers of water on here and paint on here, and you can still see there's a lot of white that's coming through. But this is Hahnemühle paper, if you've ever used Hahnemühle. And Hahnemühle is, there it is, 100% cotton paper. Pretty interesting stuff. So there's that. You like the water, Liza, and the shading of the rocks, and they're very subtle. Thank you. And Sunika, you like the muted colors. It's funny. Every time I go down there, I tell myself these rocks have a lot of color in them. There's a lot of browns and reds, and there are a lot of oranges, some ochre colors in those rocks, and then I end up painting them gray every time. But I try. Each time I get better and I get better. No, that's not. Each time it gets different. How's that? Because I've painted that scene a number of times, and it's turned out fantastic in my mind a number of times, and I don't think that one's bad at all. I really like that one, but I have had painted a few that I thought were a little, let's just say, less successful. And that's okay too. It's all a learning process. It all helps in the long run to understand watercolors and watercolor painting. So I'm totally happy with what I had. And I'm hoping to go back and do it again. Was it overcast while you were out there? It was not. It was pretty sunny. And to be honest, I was really concerned about it because even though, I'm feet from the water when I'm painting that, literally I don't know, 25 feet, 30 feet, something, not very far from the water as I'm painting that. It's very dry, right? So as soon as the sun hits the paper, it wants to dry out right away. And in other times I've gone out there and it's been very difficult because I end up with a lot of hard edges. And I don't, you all know me, I don't really like a lot of hard edges. And I've struggled with it. But this time, I guess because it's earlier in the year and probably there's just a little bit more moisture still in the air. I didn't have that problem. So, I counted myself lucky in this instance. But I do typically try to find a shaded area when I go out and do my plein air painting. I just think you have a little bit more opportunity to work with your colors and with your brushes and everything when you paint in the shade. The sun can just be brutal sometimes and dry everything out right away. All right, so getting a little bit of color on this slightly larger bird. I don't know which is the boy bird and which is the girl bird, so I'm just going to say the little bit larger one and a little bit shorter one. And whichever it turns out to be is fine with me either way. We'll just put that color all the way over there. So anyways, so that was fun to do, and I the whole time I'm sitting out there. Now this is true. Oh, Bicycle Repairman is here. Hello, happy Valentine's Day. The whole time I'm sitting out there, I just kept going. This is all Natalie's fault. She painted that picture out in Arizona of the mine. It was a mine entrance, wasn't it? I went, man, I gotta step my game up and do some of that. I mean, not only that, but it's fun. It is fun to do. So, Natalie, thank you for for getting me out of the house for a while to do some watercolor painting, and I'm going to continue to do it more times. I just set up a rig here, which is an old cell phone of mine. Right, I don't use the cell phone anymore. I've moved on to a new one, but the camera on it is still pretty good. So I got a little rig. I'm going to set that up, and I'm going to try to video myself in the near future. And or I've voluntold one of my kids that they get to help. They get to help with Dad a little bit with some watercolor painting videos, and when they get to do that, then maybe they'll get, oh shoot, now I've been messing around with the green over here and I've forgotten all about orange up here. I'm going to put a little bit of red in that orange too. Let's make this one just a little bit different. Shoot. Oh, I'm just going to go straight red here. Red. I'm glad I pre-wet this one, or we might not have. We might have had a little trouble here. It looks like we might still have a little bit of trouble, but we'll persevere and carry on with this guy, even though his head is a little bit drier than I would like. Yeah, we've gotten just a bit of a hard edge out here. That's okay. We can salvage it. I'm going to get my bristles mostly dry, and I can just barely lift that edge. And because we pre-wet this, we've got plenty of time to move this paint all around, and I'm actually pretty happy with where it's at right now. If it would just stay there. Um, oh yes, let's see. The Lost Dutchman mine. That's right. That's right. That's what it was. And yes, you did put it up on Discord, and I thank you for that. Everybody should go and take a look, or not. I mean, don't. I mean, you can go there just for that, but there's some other stuff there too. You can go and you can post your own art, and everybody will make a comment on it. Positive comment, I'm sure. And I'll be posting things from time to time up there. You'll see my reference photos that I'm using on this Wednesday stream will get posted there. I'm trying to use it more and more. Discord. I put up there early what we were going to paint this week, which is, I'm sure, these lovebirds, these lovely lovebirds. And hopefully, we'll get to use that more and more and more. Oh, and the challenge is up there. So if anybody hasn't gotten into the challenge, or they haven't thought about the challenge, or they needed a reminder to do the challenge this month, we've got about 2 weeks left. I'm going to do a normal video next week. And then the following week, which is the last Wednesday in February, I'll be doing live my version of the challenge. And the challenge for this month is amethyst. You can do the raw crystal. You can do a ring or a gemstone amethyst. There are lots of different things you could do, but the theme is amethyst. It's got to be done around amethyst somehow. So that's there. What else? What else? What else? Let me get rid of that. I don't know. So this bird is dry. This bird is drying. I'm going to mix up some color for this branch here. And I'm going to make my own gray. I'm going to start with Ultramarine Blue. Get just a nice little puddle of Ultramarine Blue here. And I'm going to add a little bit of sepia into that. And I'm going to leave this gray a little bit more on the blue side, but these two make a lovely gray when you mix them together. Come on, sepia, give me a little bit more color than that. There we go. It's a lovely blue-gray color. A good branch-ish color. I like that quite a bit. Natalie, you're saying it's quite a bit of a fussy app. Yeah. Yeah, I can't deny that you're right. It's got its idiosyncrasies, but like you said, once you get in, it's usually pretty good. I think the hardest thing about Discord is finding other channels. There's no directory to search. There's no one repository. I guess there is a repository of them all, but you don't typically find it. It's not. I don't know, you find links to other people's Discord from their web pages and blogs and podcasts and all that sort of thing. Let's see, Natalie, you keep forgetting. My circle picture is a girl wearing jewels, which I classify as amethyst. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Why not? The goal is to encourage painting and participation and having some enjoyment in it. Not strictly to say, you're doing it, you got to do a different thing. Natalie, you have only my channel. Thank you. Yeah, that's the only one you really are going to need, right? Yeah, if you get into the challenge and you're not sure if it's exactly right or not, well, we're not in junior high school. Nobody's going to say you can't enter because of X, Y, and Z. I hope you have some bit of the challenge in your painting, but the the impetus of the challenge is to get everybody to do a little painting and to enjoy their painting, and just to give us a common topic that we can all focus on, rather than everybody trying to find their own thing to paint. And I know it's nice when I sit down and talk to people about a painting and they've painted something similar, and you can always start a discussion and go, hey, you know what, I did this in my painting, what did you do in yours, or how did you handle when this came up, or did this come up for you? And so then it fosters it, excuse me, it fosters a bit more discussion, and hopefully a bit more fun in what we're painting. So that's the whole goal. And plus the winning, right? The winning is in the doing it and having fun doing it with some people that are also enjoying doing some watercolor painting. There's no real prize or anything. So so we can't be too much of a stickler about what we can put up there. All right. Does this look like a stick? Look like you're sitting on a stick? I hope so. I'm hoping with some of these colors, especially the sepia, it's going to settle down in the bottom here a little bit more and maybe give a little bit of a shadow down there, and I get away with doing this stick in kind of one pass here. That'll be certainly be a nice thing. I keep going back to my colors. I don't want to, let me go that way. I don't want to put in one solid color. I've got a, you know, the basic color mixed up over here on my palette, and that's great as a starting point. But I think a lot of the fun, and I think we've talked about it before, a lot of the coolness in watercolor is that watercoloriness where the different colors interact on the paper, and they really make whatever we're doing kind of come to life a little bit, whether they mean to or not. So I thought this, I mean, the reference photo kind of has a bluey, gray stick that they're sitting on, but to allow some of this interplay, okay, I don't even know if you can see it. Let's do this. Whoop. Come on the sides. Look, ooh, there you go. Look, blues and browns in there, and in between, it makes that natural gray color. Really a cool kind of a variegated color through there. Let's see. Anyone can post on Instagram too. Natalie, you know what? That's a great idea. Lots of people do stuff, and we can make our own hashtag on Instagram, and everybody do it like a hashtag WWM monthly challenge or something like that. I'll come up with a better hashtag than that. That's a great idea. Something like that. Sudika, you went out and bought some amethyst paint, so you kind of feel obliged now to do the challenge. I get it. I don't know that you need to feel obliged to do it, but I think I probably would feel a little obliged to do it too. Okay, so I'm waiting for the stick to dry. Yeah, I was gonna say this bird is dry, and this bird is only partially dry. Which means I've either got to fire up the hair dryer again. I had to think for a second what it is, or paint something else. Okay, I got to fire up the hair dryer for just a second. Let's hope I don't blow out all my electricity. Got some things tangled here. All right, let's see. I'll put it on low. Maybe that'll help. Okay, let me mute this. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Look at the difference in the blue and the gray now, or the blue and the brown. Really drying it really helped pop some of that color out of there. Very happy about that. All right, I've got a slightly smaller brush size, and I know that's small for you guys, but I'm looking at where uh, the the shadows are, right? The darker colors on this guy's head or this girl's head, whichever that is. And it looks to me as though there's like a crescent right here. So I'm gonna get this whole area wet, and then I'm gonna try just to get that crescent darker. So let me get this area wet. Trying to remember to wet my area first and kind of work with the proper dampness on the page. In times past, I would have just gone ahead and put some color on here and then tried to pull it out real quickly. And I can still do that. I'm just not quite as convinced that that's the proper way to go about this. I'm going to drop a little bit of brown in here and a little bit of gamboge. Just want a slightly darker color here. Let me get a little bit more of this burnt umber. Ooh, I think that's pretty good. And this might be just a bit damp yet. Okay. So if I'm looking at it, to me, it looks as though the area right around here, and I'm trying to keep this eye round, is a bit darker, and it comes down here. That was a little wet, and that's okay, because it gives me the opportunity to come back in and guide all of these colors right exactly where I want them. And I think I want a little extra orange. Come on, orange. Help me out. Up underneath here. Yeah, I definitely want a little extra orange right up here. And that should mix with some of that darker color. Again, starting to get some nice color on this bird here. I'm just throwing a few colors together here. Looks kind of like what we have in that reference photo. I want to make sure I keep the crown of his head or her head, whichever one we're talking about here, nice and bright. I don't want the colors to go all the way out to the crown. And come out kind of like that. Okay. I like that. I do. And we've got a bit of a line right underneath here. And I'm going to do this really lightly. Some of this color. We're already kind of getting into some of the weird details of the bird here. Not weird, but different. Right? Some of the things that are going to set this bird apart. It's got this feather line that comes down here. And I want to make this super, super light. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to blend it all the way down this huge, long graded wash. And, oh, the yellow just does not want to come out on the camera. I'll put just a bit of orange in there. It may not be as good quite for the end product, but I think it'll turn out really nicely on camera. Maybe I'll put a little additional yellow right down here. Let's keep this nice and bright. Coming down and around. Are you guys still with me? There you go. You can see kind of where his head is, right? Where's her, whichever. I don't know which it is. Have we talked about that before? Most guys call things him and most women call things her. I think they do. It's just a natural kind of a thing we all do. But you can see kind of the neckline there, I guess. Make the yellow darker. Oh, sometimes violet helps. Oh, that's a great point. Because yellow and violet are complements, that would make total sense. I don't know why I don't remember that kind of stuff. Sometimes I do, most times I don't. I got to darken up the tail down here. Oop, give me some more of this gamboge down here, just a little bit of it. I honestly, I learn as much from you guys on these live streams as you probably learn from me, or maybe more. Because I get so caught up in doing the painting that I forget there's a whole other side to doing the painting, which is how you do the painting. It's not just that there is a painting to do. There's stuff to do in your painting, if that makes any sense. See, this guy's going to have a little different color of green on his tail. They don't need to be exactly the same. Each tail down there. Let's give him a little shot of blue right up there. I'm not sure with the blue on this green, with the blue stick right there. I don't know if that's going to give us a whole lot, but we're going to see how it goes. A little spot there. Okay, all right. I think I'm ready for coat number 2. I think the head on this one is starting to come out really nice. When this dries, we'll be able to come in and put some darks up under up under the beak, you know, up under his beak here, and next to this guy, some darks in here, and it's really gonna give some 3D imagery there. All right, let's see what we can do with this one. Ooh, how about if I do the same thing on this one and I get it mostly wet. So, did anybody do anything exciting for Valentine's Day today? I will be honest with you. My family doesn't do a whole lot for Valentine's Day. We do a lot for other holidays. For Valentine's Day, we don't do a whole lot. A card, a drink. My wife got me my favorite drink here. This is actually a an Italian soda. One of my favorite drinks going. It's wonderful. But we don't do a whole lot at my house. So I'm just wondering if anybody else yes, you took a nap. Oh, Natalie, you did primer roast in the Instant Pot with roasted squash. Ooh, that is soak in the spa. Both sound fantastic. Um, okay, you have an Instant Pot. I have to ask. Liza, nothing special. You ate in. Okay. All right. That's good too. Natalie, is the Instant Pot, and yes, I realize it's really a crock pot, not a crock pot, a pressure cooker, but is that the best kitchen appliance ever? I have one. I love my Instant Pot. I use it for so much. Ooh, wait, coconut shrimp. And Natalie, you sent cards to the kids, but you wait, you sent cards to the kids, but not your husband. Interesting. Well, he did get rib roast. Rib roast. He did get prime rib. So you gotta make some sacrifices sometimes. Prime rib could be a lot better than a card, or yeah, prime rib could be a lot better than a card. All right, got some nice color on this guy. Now, a pop of red right there. I really like that. I'm considering going back on this other one and putting a nice pop of red, like just behind her beak or his beak. Uh, Still doing it. Um, but I like the color that's coming on here, and I'm going to try to do the same thing. I mean, a little bit like here. For where his neck kind of is, and this can go up kind of the side over here, so just a little bit darker color, like that. We'll pull that down just just a bit. I can totally live with that. But I love the bright pop of color here. I like the intensity right in front. So far, I think we're going good with all of this. Woogie, Woogie is here. Hello, Woogie. Let's see. You, you love Eliza. You love your Instant Pot. Natalie, you love your Instant Pot. I love my Instant Pot. And Eliza, you love your air fryer too. I like my air fryer. I don't know if I love mine. Lots of people like air fryers. I don't own one. I used my Instant Pot more before I went keto. It was a great way to make pasta dishes. Oh yeah, that's true. Ooh, Eliza, you make your own potato chips and air dried seasoned chickpeas. Ooh, that sounds good. That does sound good. I make French fries. I make sweet potato fries in there. I hard boil eggs in there. I make pasta in there. I make soup in mine. Chili. What else do I do in my air fryer? All kinds of stuff. I love the air fryer. All right. Okay. I'm getting a little sidetracked with the air fryer. I'm going to go with a little bit of alizarin crimson here, and I'm going to put into it a little bit of olive green. Okay, and it's going to make this reddy, greeny color. And, ooh, that might be just a little bit too much. And I want to use this, right? Red and green are going to make a brown gray, depending upon what two you use. But our stick is blue, basically. I want a warm color. I know that the feet on there, if you can see it, the feet are darker. They're or they're not darker. They're a gray color on there, but I don't want a gray color for my feet. I want a warmer color for my feet. And so I'm going to mix my own color, and it's going to be this brownish with a slightly red tint. And you can see I've just kind of been mixing it here. I'll thin it down a little bit, and then hopefully you'll see the method in my madness. And if not, then it'll only just be my madness, and nobody else will have to worry about it. That'll be okay. But I just wanted, I don't know why, I wanted to get them a little bit warmer feet here. We can modify this color a bit if we need to on our second pass with their feet, but I just thought the gray wasn't quite going to fit here, so I wanted to give them something slightly different. And if you never saw the reference photo, I would bet when you look at this, you're never going to know these don't look like the feet that they're supposed to, because lots of birds have these feet and toes and whatnot that are this kind of brown red color. There it is. Something just like that. I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and we'll put another layer onto those. Before I start doing too much detailing, I'm going to get into some more of this Phthalo Green. And let's see, what can I touch and what can't I touch? I'm going to just start to detail in a little bit of wing over here. See, I think there's a little bit up here too that we can just see. And I know that this guy over here's got a little bit of green up on his shoulder, or darker green up on his shoulder here. Let's see. Oh, now we're now we're into kitchen appliance talk, huh? Should have never asked. Let's see. Michael, my friends begged me for the chickpeas for presents. I can believe that. I bet they are a fantastic snack, and it's something that you can just carry with you, and it doesn't weigh anything. How's the keto working for you? Keto's awesome. All right, cool. Good at reducing inflammation. That's what I need. And you lost 20 pounds to boot, which is a lot better too. And you don't crave sweets. Interesting. I've never really craved sweets, so I never understood people's cravings for sweets. But that's okay. That's okay. All right. Let's see. We're dry-ish over here. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Got some dark area. We need to get a little dark going over here. In behind the smaller bird's head, and like underneath the beak here. I'm just looking. This whole area under here is pretty dark. Well, let me. Oh, this is the point where I go, well, is this really how I want to do this? Put some dark color under there, and this one looks like it comes down. Oh, that was still too wet. That's okay. We can work with that. A little dark there, a little dark there. We've got this line in between them. I'm gonna make this a little bigger, like this. Just kind of pull this out ever so slightly. That should put one in front of the other. Every time I say something like that, I keep thinking of that Christmas Carol with Yukon or not Christmas Carol, Christmas cartoon special with Yukon Cornelius, and I don't remember who the elf was who wanted to be a dentist. And they asked Yukon Cornelius something like, "How do you carry on, or how do you do whatever?" And he started singing, "You put one foot in front of the other." Anybody remember that? And soon you'll be walking across the floor. No, just me. Just me. You just wanted to hear my bad singing, because it is bad. I don't sing. Oh, I sing. I don't sing well. Herbie the dental. There we go. Susie, thank you. Oh, thank you. I don't feel so alone. Put one foot in front of the other. Come on, that was fantastic. I tried to get my kids to watch it, and they thought I was... well, I would say nuts is probably the appropriate word. I thought it was fantastic. I think I was the only one in the house. We have a dog that loved that whole show. Oh, thank you for not leaving me hanging. I guess I should be singing about I'm singing about the wrong holiday, though, really, right? I'm trying to just give a little dark on here to help with some dimension on this guy. I'm not sure I'm hitting it quite right. Let's see, I'm going to add some. That should help. A little bit of darkness there. And then I can spread that out. You remember the cartoon, but not that song. That was... oh... Baskin and Rankin or something like that. Something like that. I guess it was claymation. It was definitely stop motion. Christmas special from, I don't know what it was, 1960 something. I don't know. It was I thought it was fantastic. I like that one, and the one I watched this year, rewatched this year, I guess I should say, was the one where we learned how Kris Kringle got to be Santa Claus when he was delivering toys to all the girls and boys, and the Burgermeister got mad at him and banned him from the town because the Burgermeister Meister Burger tripped over him. The Burgermeister Meister Burger. He tripped over them, and then wouldn't let the kids have toys anymore. And oh, the good old days. The Abominable. The whole thing was really kept his attention. The Abominable was called a Bumble, though, wasn't he? Because Yukon said, "Didn't I ever tell you about Bumbles? Bumbles bounce." And then he pushed him off a cliff. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to get this guy's beak wet here, the whole thing. Hope to keep it at about the right dampness, and it's going to be red. Harry the Dental Elf. Oh my God. I can't believe you remembered that. Take me back to my childhood. Now, when I first saw that, I watched it on a 17-inch television, black and white television at my house. That's what we had. I got one just little spider off of there. As soon as you watch it, oh yeah, Rudolph, 1964. Look, I got that one little bit that comes off of there. Kind of making me a little upset, but we'll deal with it. And then after that, I watched, there was something about Baby New Year, and it had Mother Nature was in it, and the Heat Miser and the Freeze Miser. Oh, all the classics. All the classics. Yeah, there was a little bit there was a little bit of bullying in Rudolph for sure. I always tell my kids, something like that wouldn't be, you would never see that in a movie today. But it was a different time and a different era, and don't hold it against the people who made it at the time, because everything had a slightly different standard. But you're right. Whoops, I hit my microphone. But you're right. There was a bit of bullying that went on in there for sure. Oh, just about getting the beak on here. Because I pre-wet this, I can now move this around just about as much as I want. I think that's about all I want. Ooh, I love the way their beaks are standing out. Natalie, I'm sorry, Liza, you agree it was hard? It was definitely hard to watch. It was a little hard to watch. For sure, it was a little hard to watch. See, I'm going to make up a little. So I didn't pre-wet this time. And this is going to come back to haunt me, I know, because I put Phthalo Green in here. Phthalo Green likes to stain a little bit, but I want to get, maybe I got it in time. I want to get a little bit of darkness in here. Give me, yeah. So I'm just mixing a little bit of my olive green and a little bit of that beautiful phthalo green, and the olive green plays pretty nice. All my colors on here play pretty nicely with other colors. It's just gonna darken this up a little bit, and then I can move this color around a little bit. You know, the more I paint and the more I play around, the more I don't want to have these broad areas of solid colors. I want to try to get gradients all over the place, and if I can have a little thicker, a little darker here and a little lighter next to it, all it's going to do is give us a little bit more interest in what we're doing here. When you look at it, you're going to go, oh, there's a little extra something going on there. So that's what I'm doing. It's just trying to get something going on, but I don't want to fill that whole area up with color. I'm going to leave some lighter areas all around it so that it's just, when you look at it, it's not, you're not going to go, oh, well, he painted a big dark spot right in the middle there. Your eye's just going to go, oh, wait a minute, there just happens to be something slightly different over here. That's not over there. I wonder what that is. Especially since it's kind of easy to not put a whole lot of that on here, right? It would be super easy to just leave that solid color green, and totally acceptable, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Only maybe we could do a little bit better, right? Yeah, I think we could do just a little bit better, and we did. And it just adds that little extra bit of interest to what we're doing. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to mix up some more of this light green over here, because I want to come back and make this, I want to force a bit of an edge on there, right? So we can see some of the colors that are, force our eyes to see where the yellow is and where the green is, just a little bit more. And I'm going to pull most of that color off of there. There. Okay. Whoop. Let me pick this up. There you can see. Now there's just a little curved edge around there, if that's the right word, if I'm using the right word there. Just a little bit of something going on. Same thing over on this guy over here. So I have a line drawn here. Can you see it? There it is. Really slight. And I'm going to ignore it, because that's not kind of where my paint ended up. And I want to keep this kind of where my paint ended up. And I'm going to make this jagged edge all the way around. And then I'm going to pull this down. And then it's going to look like there's just a row of these little tiny feathers there. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Love it. And we can blend these out as much as we want, just so. Now it looks like we got just a little too much of a straight line there. Okay, all right. Okay. Starting to look good. It's starting to really look nice. Still liking the beak up here. Really liking the beak up there. Where was my green? I'm gonna mix a little bit more green and red color. Put some of this orange in it to lighten it up a little bit. Right, he's got a bit of a darker area under here. This is going to help me get rid of any spots I've missed. Didn't do quite right underneath his beak. And I need to be mindful not to let this come out too far. Here it is. Got this little area under here. I'm gonna kind of go over. Just clean this edge up. A little bit under the beak there. Again, I can soften this edge. I think I can soften that edge a little bit. Maybe. Maybe. Still got some people here. Okay, I'm liking it. All right, I'm actually going to use a little bit of Paynes Gray on this one. I'm going to put it where my blue is, really light, not dark at all, right? Very, very light. I don't want the eyes to be super white. I don't mind if they're white. I just want to take the tiniest bit of that super brightness out of them. Right? So we'll just drop a little bit of, it's almost all Paynes Gray in here. There might be a little bit of tiny bit of blue in here. Oh, okay. All right. All right. And going back into the feet here, let's put a little bit of extra of this color on there just so we can differentiate where these feet are at. Yep, got one there. A little dark up on top. Come on, color. Dark, dark, dark. Underneath. One there, there, there. Just painting them almost like fingers here. All right, we can start to see some separation in those toes. In those toes. Let's see the colors. Lucky 13 here. Oh, we got 13 people here. Is that? We need 3 more thumbs up. Do we have thumbs up? How many thumbs up do we have? I don't have that. I don't have that scene up. I can't, or that page up. I can't see. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of this yellow ochre. If I had some little bit of this burnt umber in there, that'd be great. Paint a little bit of wood on here. This branch maybe it's seen better days. It cracked a little bit. Maybe a really big bird sat out on this side of it and it broke it just a little bit. That's okay. There's room for big birds too. Typically on Sesame Street, but that's okay. I'm gonna put a little blue to differentiate this old little branch here, and just a little bit here and there to separate these. Oh, okay. Need to do a background on here. I'm going to grab a big old brush. Yeah, okay, I'll use this one. I like this brush. And I need to get a well for this. So I'll use this one. I have to say, I've been finding, I clean my palette like this all the time. I just grab it and clean it. And every now and again, I'll just find phthalo blue on my hands for no particular reason. And I'm like, where did you come from? I'm going to get my brush wet. The brush I'm using is a Dana. And I like Dana company. They've been very nice to me. This is a squirrel mop brush. It's pure, real squirrel hair. I've got a set of 3 of these, a 1, a 3, and a 5. I think I have 3 of them, and I very much like them. Very much. I've been using these for years now, and they're quite nice. If you typically use a flat brush to, fill a large area or something like that, this would be comparable. I like to use this quill brush because the squirrel hair holds a ton of water, and it allows you to get into some really tight spaces with the point. comes to a fantastic point. So I very much like these. I'm going to do that same old background that I like to do. I'm going to put some color on here and let the color go and do whatever the color is going to do. The old trick is that if you make the color stronger towards the subject, then the subject will stand out a little bit more. So do that quite a lot. There we go. So I'll just throw some color on there. Maybe let it come up a little bit higher. I'm probably going to need to pull this out a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to throw some on the other side. Dana, this is one of your favorite paintings so far. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Thank you. I like it. It's a cute little painting, isn't it? Put some blue on over here. This is Cobalt Blue. A lovely sky color. So just something nice in the background there. I think I've told this story before. I'll tell you again. I joined an art club and I was trying to learn how to paint skies. And I'll admit I'm still not good at skies. A lot of things I'm not super good at. Skies are one of them. I can live with that. But some of the advice I got was to just go outside and look at the sky and really make an effort of painting the sky the way you see it. And I walk outside and I took a picture of it. I went, I have 300 sunny days of a year where there are no clouds in the sky at my house. This is what my sky looks like. This is why I can't paint skies very well. Oh, Natalie, oh no. Wait a minute, how do we get splattering? Let's see. Today I was splattering and it went on my glasses. Oh no. Natalie, you made yogurt and it went all over every place. And Dana, you said, what kind of palette do I have and where do you get one? That's a great question. Is this dry? Can I close this? This is almost dry. This palette has no brand name on it, but I can tell you it's by the company Color Around. And if you look here, you can see an H, right? So Holbein originally made a palette very much like this, a travel palette. So you can put your finger on there. It's got some nice grip on there and you can hold it. Well, the Holbein, being a brand name in the art world, the Holbein palette cost about, I don't know, $60. Well, I don't want to pay $60 for it. So I started searching and trying to find a similar palette that was not nearly as much, and I found this one. I found this one on Amazon, and I tried it out, and what I found was that I very much like having palettes that have these slanted wells, right? The wells in here, you can see them. They slant down. You can fill up the thick part of it and pull the color out as you want. And then it has the big mixing areas out here, which are, of course, fantastic. Whoop, that's still just a little bit wet. I got to wait for just a second. I'm rushing through a little bit. So I got this one, and I've had this particular palette for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years. When I originally bought it, I got it for, I want to say $20. 18, 20 bucks, somewhere in that range, if I'm remembering right. And I think it's got 18 or 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it's got 26. It's got 26 um, wells on it, slanted wells. You can get them with as little as, I don't know, 8 or 10, or you can get them with as many as 60 some on there. If you get one that has 60, you have fewer mixing areas. I think I have one that has 30 some on it. I now have 4 or 5 of these. I love these. I don't use too many of the traditional either half pan or full pan ones anymore because I like these so much better. But this particular one and probably all the subsequent ones I got on Amazon. I think I got them all on Amazon. I may have found one on eBay, but I'm thinking Amazon. Let's see, Dana, you like it with the 26 wells. I I went around and around and around on how many wells I should have and settled on this. Okay, I'm going to let this sit and dry for a second. Give me 1 second. I'll get another one out. Here you go. Here's a second one that I have. And if you could see, well, you can't see. This one is slightly larger. Whoop. And this has got, well, yeah, it's very much larger. It's so large you can't even see it. Look at that. There you go. Now you can see it, or you can see most of it anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's got 30 wells in that one, and you can see the relative size. It's a bit larger. And this, I think, is the most recent one that I've bought. And I want to say this one cost me close to $35, $40. Look, Natalie found it all already. Amazon has them for 21 bucks. There you go. For the Color Around aluminum palette. Yep. And yeah, one's, hold on. It's so many palettes. Yeah, here's another one. I'm not sure what's in this one. Oh, yeah. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Only 13, and then this whole side you can mix in. So this is like a limited palette. And then this one is smaller than the one I normally use. I've got that one. And then these are the ones that I don't really use these all that much anymore. I don't know. After I started using these ones that have the slant, this just seemed a little limiting to me. But I still have a whole bunch of these too. I like these. I love these. And they're not that expensive. They really aren't. The one thing you have to watch with these, the one thing you have to be careful of is when you fill your wells with paint, you've really got to let them dry before you close it up. Because I've done that and closed it, and then the paint just kind of dripped over. But where I'm at now, they're still glistening. I mean, they do glisten, and that's a hallmark of M. Graham is that they glisten because they've got honey in there. They're very soft, and they re-wet very well. But they're dry enough that they're not going to run around anywhere. So there's that. But yes, I love those palettes. My absolute favorite. Actually, That's not true. That's not my absolute favorite. But I don't see my absolute favorite. If you guys have ever seen, if you've ever seen, you know what? Since the eyes got on here, look, since that dark is on the eyes, now these guys look, now they have a face. You can see them a lot better now. Holy cow. It's amazing what adding the darks in the eyes will do. If you've ever seen, I don't even know if the company still sells them or not, those brass palettes that have like the big humps on them, and you open them up and they like fold into each other. I don't know if you've ever seen those. They're pretty popular. Oh man, in European watercolor artists use them quite a lot. I found a company that sells that, but they're plastic. And I reached out to the company. The company is called Shys Art, SHYS, Shys Art. If anybody wants to go and look at the palette, and they sell them for $50 a piece or something like that. They're wonderful. They've got these deep domes on the top of them, and you fold them out and fold them out. And so you could literally hold like a half a cup of water in each of those big mixing areas. They're really an interesting palette. That might be my favorite, but I don't use it that much. Let's see, Dana, I like them both. That's a good price. These M-Gram paints, and they are great. Thank you. You are totally welcome. Okay, what was I going to do? I don't know that I'm going to do it. I like, so I like the red here and the head behind. I like the red here and the green behind. I was going to put some red or darken this up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't know that I'm going to do too much else to these. I just want to look to make sure I've got the color on there that I want. Yes, Natalie, yes, those brass ones are really expensive. Yes, they are. They're $600 and $700. I tried to buy one. Well, no. I looked them up thinking I would buy one and it wouldn't be that expensive. And yeah, they're super expensive. The only thing I can't figure out is why they're that expensive, but they are. But they're really cool. Or maybe I just think they're cool because they're that expensive. That could be. That very well could be. Needless to say, I don't have one. I don't. I probably could afford one, but I think after I bought one, my wife would invite me to sleep in the car for a while. I don't think it would go over well. See, I'm just trying to put a little dark on some of the ends of these little feet down here. There might be a little extra shadow. Maybe I'll draw a little knuckle on in a couple of areas here. I don't need much detail here. I don't want too much detail here, but a little might help. And I know that I have the wrong brush to do it. I want to get my smallest brush. It's a size 2. I was just going to fleck in some little feathers here and there. Let's see, I don't know. Couple here. Couple here. Just for, a little bit of texture on here. We don't need too much, I don't think. But a spot or two couldn't hurt. Put 1 or 2 here and there. Put 1 or 2 next to each other. Or leave it alone. I say stuff like that. I really do think I sound like Bob Ross when I say stuff like that. Shoot, you just put this line right there and that decides where that feather goes. Now you guys are so zoomed out, you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Somebody needs to tell me. And we can put a yellow feather in here too. Let's get a little color on there. CDK. The only problem with using a palette like this is figuring out what colors you want to put in there. So many colors to choose from. That's always a problem. Let's see. I think the really expensive brass palettes are handmade to order. They are handmade to order. Those are the ones those are the only ones I've really seen, are the ones that are handmade like that, and super expensive, but super nice. See a couple little flecks of color here and there, and probably if you did one or two out this way around, I don't even know if I can see these, around where their eyes are, would, oh yeah, yeah. A dot or two here and there. I don't want to do too much. I'm on back into focus. There we go. I'm looking to, I'm actually waiting to see if the pupil is going to dry a little bit. I'm going to sign this a little bit early because the only thing left to do, I think, is put a highlight on that eye, and we can kind of wait for a second for that, and then I can do a little self-reflection. I wish, actually, right now, I wish I had a frame I could put over top of this. So you could cut off that little bit right there. And I'll talk just a little bit about what I did here. There, I got a little dirt on there. I'll just cover that up. I purposely put these guys off center. I didn't want them in the center. I'm trying to think of, let me raise that up just a little bit. I'm trying to think of composition a little bit. And if we were just to put this in the center, yeah, it's fine, right? It's still two lovebirds, and I think they look nice on a stick. But if we extend that stick out to the side, all of a sudden, you know, this isn't much out here, but it gives a lot more character to the painting, right? Now they're off to the side. You know, maybe they're off to the side. Maybe that tells a story, you know, in itself, right? Them being off to the side a little bit. But your eye wants to go right to the center. And when we have some area of interest that's not quite in the center, it's going to keep pulling it over there and pulling it over and pulling it over there. So having it just off center really helps out a little bit. And if we go, a third and a third, that's going to come out right about the center of these birds here. So I really like it. I think it turned out great. I'm looking, the pupils aren't quite dry. I was going to put a little speck of white in there. Maybe I'll do that when I'm done. So here we are, hour and a half into the stream, and we finished our painting of these beautiful lovebirds on this oh my gosh. I almost said Thanksgiving watercolor stream. On this Valentine's Day watercolor stream. You can tell I'm a little tired. I want to thank everybody for spending a little time on their Valentine's Day to help make my Valentine's Day a lovely and fun Wednesday evening. So thank you all very much. I hope you'll join me back here next week. Natalie, I still have it written down right here. Considering doing the steer picture that you sent me next week, or part of it. Maybe we'll take a part of that steer, like the head, or I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. I wish he was positioned slightly differently. So I might have to take a little artistic liberty with it. But I love the picture. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we will be doing my version of the challenge painting. If you're not in Discord or you don't know the challenge, where to look for the challenge, or where to put your challenge painting, there's a link to Discord down the way. You will have to install an app and sign up for the service. Actually, I'm not sure you have to download the app, but you will have to sign up for the service. Anyway, it's down there. I'll probably post something on social media this weekend, because I will be going out and doing some watercolor painting outside, and I'll probably do some in the studio, so you'll see something there. So check that. Until we meet again next Wednesday, I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend, and starts to your next week. Until then, thank you all so much. Bye-bye.